This is Wake Up. All you people out there in YouTube land, how do you do? From the site www.talkthatworld.net, where real fans roam. Join the debate. The meat of what I'll be talking about today is the Avengers movie, or Avengers Assemble, as it's known in the UK. Firstly, there was 3 reasons why I went to go watch this movie at the cinema, why I paid to go watch it. Number 1, it was directed by Joss Whedon. Number 2, it was released a week early than it is over in the United States of America, which is a very rare thing to happen actually for us Brits. Very rarely do we get a mega blockbuster like this being released a week early. And the third and final reason was because of a little comment that Have Hope from TalkThatWorld.net said on his Facebook. He said, "Hulk smash, Hulk was good." And if you've got a guy like Have Hope saying that the Avengers was good, a guy who's been, like myself, saying since it was announced that it won't work, the idea of the Avengers movie live action in the first place just sounded ridiculous. I wasn't one of these guys that backed it, that was interested in it, that was caught up in the hype. Wasn't a fan of Iron Man 2, I thought that was trash, I thought it was just a commercial. Was not a fan of 4, that was a glorified Power Ranger movie. And yet, I've come out from watching the Avengers and it was good. It was very good. It was probably one of the strongest superhero movies I've actually ever seen. It's taken 3 different actors before we've had someone come in and nail the Hulk. Mark Ruffalo was brilliant. He nailed it. Which is a shame, because I'm an Edward Norton guy. I thought Edward Norton did a good job in The Incredible Hulk, but he wasn't socially awkward enough. Mark Ruffalo is. And the thing that I really enjoyed about the Avengers is it's still Captain America is the leader. And what was happening with the trailers is it portrayed Iron Man to be the main guy. And I'm like, well, if Iron Man's going to be the main guy as shown in these trailers, in these commercials, then why am I bothered? Because I'm not an Iron Man guy. Iron Man 1 was good, but it might as well be called Iron Man 3 for all I care. If Captain America's going to be sidelined, I'm not interested. And everyone had their moment. They worked as a team, and it took them a while before they actually gelled, which is another key thing here. Joss Whedon, the odds were against him doing a good film. Let's be honest, with Kevin Feige or Fergie being the producer, and we know how heavy-handed he was. Go and watch Iron Man 2 and that'll show you, even as a producer. Jon Favreau still to this day says that was not the movie I wanted to make, that was the producers doing that. And he pulled it off. He pulled it off. I was blown away by it. The 12-year-old inner me, was just in awe. I went to go watch it at the cinema, and I had this 8-year-old kid there sat next to me. I was like, oh god, it's going on these things where this 8-year-old's going to be losing his mind. I'm going to get so annoyed with this guy. And all the bits the kid went ape crazy on were the parts that I wanted to do as well. Like, he was reenacting certain bits of it, and I was like, yeah man, I'm completely with you there. That was awesome. That was fantastic. They each have their moment to shine. It's not Iron Man's show, and there are several notable scenes which are amazing. When you first see Black Widow encountering Bruce Banner in India, that scene was so tense. When you had Mark Ruffalo almost go loco, that scene was so tense, and I had no idea what was going to go down. There were several moments. I mean, there was a character who got killed off, which I wasn't expecting. It was like, okay, the stakes are now raised. And it was just good. It was so good. I mean, this is one of those films that when I have kids, it'll be one of these, when they ask me, okay, Dad, I want to watch a good film, I either show them Back to the Future, I'd show them Toy Story, and I'd easily show them The Avengers. This is a family movie, but it has substance. It's innocent, and to its core, it's well made, very well done, and it's got story structure, and it's got several things which I'm a big fan of. It's got things like morals about people never backing down. and the core of the human spirit, which might sound like garbage to some, and like, oh, God, yeah, okay, he'd show them Avengers over the Dark Knight, yeah, because the Dark Knight is not a kids' movie. Um, but anyway, that's not to negate that this is a bad film by calling it a kids' movie, because it is. I mean, at the end of the day, every single 12-year-old, for every single bloke, we've been that person where we've had all our action figures lined up. We've had a good friend come over from the street and we've reenacted a war. We've had good guys versus bad guys. And there's been scenes that have been in this movie that completely reenact how I'd envisioned when I was little, having these toy wars, action figure wars with G.I. Joes and action men up against, I don't know, who would they be, like Terminators. Even though we didn't know what Terminator was back in the day, we still had the Arnold Schwarzenegger half-robot action figure. And some of the action scenes at the very end were just phenomenal. They worked as a team, and it was like there was a really classic shot near the end of the movie where you had this massive battle going on. The stakes were raised. I mean, given from the trailer, you don't realise how high the stakes are. And if anything, the Avengers suffer from really bad marketing. Oversaturated, completely shoved down your throat, and the wrong way to go about it. That's what put me off going to watch it, but I'm so glad I did. But there was this scene where they used classical music during this massive battle, and it started with Iron Man being chased by all these hover flying machines with aliens on. Then he'd fly past Hulk and Thor back to back, fighting all these monsters on top of this massive flying lizard thing, and then it would pan down to where you had Captain America, Black Widow, and Hawkeye protecting these civilians up against these mountainous drones of these aliens. And Black Widow was good. She was amazing in this. She was very good. And I'm one of these people that don't like female heroes. I don't think they work. We've got rare exceptions like Sarah Connor and Ripley and even Hit Girl. But Josh Whedon, he flexes his feminine muscles with this, if you will, like he did Buffy. Weren't really a fan of it, but Black Widow was good. She was not there for the TNA quota, the tits and ass quota, not there at all. She had skills and she backed him up. And fair enough, that scene in the trailer where she's got her little piddly handguns, she drops them early on in the final battle and picks up one of the alien guns. So it's like, okay, yeah, that's logical. You would do that. If you have these pathetic handguns and they've got these massive cannons, you would pick them up because they're a lot more easier to fire apart. Captain America was very good. He was a good leader. People listened to him, and they didn't all gel. That's what I liked about the movie. They didn't all gel straight away. They all had their egos, and the fight in the woods that people have been talking about, where Thor versus Iron Man, and then Captain America there as well into the mix. That was a good scene. And there was even parts where, when you first see Hulk for the first time in this science building, or in the laboratory, and he's chasing Black Widow, you genuinely worry that Black Widow's not going to get out of it alive. Because it's like, okay, Jesus, what are they messing with here? Damn. And the Hulk, they did very well. They did very, very well, to the point where they even had a bromance going on between Bruce Banner and Tony Stark, because for their love of science, there was a bromance going on there, and it was good. It was so felt fresh. I've come away from the cinema just after eating a really nice meal. It was good. It was very good. I'd give it about an 8 out of 10. Please go and watch it. Do not be put off by the trailers. And I can only imagine how I'd feel if I'd have been caught up in the hype. If I was looking forward to this film before watching it, my mind would just explode. And I've got to eat my words when I was saying, forget Avengers. Avengers is going to be boring. It's going to be like just all CGI. Fair enough, there was CGI, but it was well done, well implemented. I watched it in 3D, well worth the extra money. And I've got to eat my words. I've got to eat humble pie. It was fantastic. It was absolutely fantastic. In fact, I'm a little bit worried now about The Dark Knight. It's going to have to pull something out of the bag now. Like, really? Anyway, the site, www.talkthatworld.net, the forum for the real fan, where real fans roam. Day out, Spielberg in. Go watch the Avengers. It's well worth the money. Just... Damn, that was a good film. Bloody good film. Cheers. Thanks for watching. Take care. Go watch it. You will not be let down. Bye.